hard to tell if I'm live. Here we go. Now I'm live. Good morning. Hello. I am super excited for this. I have been thinking about this all weekend, and I get excited when I think about the future. You know, if you follow me for a little bit, you know that I love to sort of plan out where it is that I'm going with my my fitness, my health, like all the things. Like I'm always thinking about the next step, and so therefore, what I'm doing before the next step is setting myself up to be able to reach the next step. Right? It's all about that next thing, the next level, right? And working on the best version of you. And so I wanted to come in today and share with you what I'm working on for us going in, so June, July, and August even. And I think for me, it just gives me that peace of mind. I feel confident, and I feel like when you can like lean in and trust the process and just, you know, go about the rest of your day, it just gives you that it's just that confidence, right? Because I feel like if you're so worried and stressed out about all the things that you have to do, then you can't take on the better parts of life either, right? So what my philosophy is all about is being able to take all that guesswork out for you so that you can focus on your family, your career, your personal life, you know, like this part of your journey, your health, your fitness, the nutrition aspect, all these things should not take away from your life. This should complement your life. This should just be a part of, okay? So let me just back up and start off by telling you guys a little bit quickly how I got started, and they give you the sort of philosophy behind the Next Level Living FitGym and what that is all about, how that came to be. So for me on my journey, when I first started, I was literally looking for something that was going to save me time from home. I struggled to get to the gym. I felt confused about what to even do at the gym, how often to go, what to do, like, and honestly, the fitness component was really the only focus that I had at that point. I knew that I needed it. I knew that I needed to be consistent at it. I really wasn't thinking about the nutrition aspect at that point. But I knew that there was something that I needed to be doing there, right? So I actually sought out something that I could do from home to be consistent with, something to follow. I love the idea of having you know, a schedule, really, you know. I was busy running our company. This was before kids. And I knew that I just like get in, get out, get it done kind of thing on my own time and schedule, right? Like on my own terms. I really didn't need a ton of motivation at that point. I really was just looking for something to like get in, get out, right? So I really, really just loved and gravitated towards Beachbody's stuff way even back in the day. They were putting out content after content. You guys might remember like late night infomercials, right? And the stuff that was on DVDs, Insanity, P90X, Turbo Fire was a really good one. And that was just something, you know, people hardly ever kind of thought about that method, right? But again, I gravitated to that because it worked for me. I always got results. I loved how it made me feel, and they kept adding content like all the time. And now we call it content, but they kept adding DVDs. They kept coming out with new programming. So there was like Les Mills Combat and Les Mills Pump, and I remember doing Core to Force and like all these ones, right? So one right after another. And I was sucked in from the beginning because again, it just worked. It was like on my time and own time and schedule, right? And it was really, really just something that fit for me. And then after I started to have kids, it really made sense for me because there was no way I was going to pack up kids to try to go to a gym either, right? So, you know, my first goals were about losing that baby weight. You know, when I started to have kid number one, it's crazy when you think about trying to figure this out in a nutshell, right? My first goals were I just wanted to be back to my pre-pregnancy weight. And, you know, and then when I would get to that goal, I would say to myself, wow, you know, I think I can do better. And then I would say, let's add strength training. And then I would start to see my body change and complete that program and say, I think I can do better, right? And then I started to add in different nutrition components. And that was my next step. And then from there, I just kept on saying, how can I get better? And again, I loved the whole dynamic of following a program from start to finish, the commitment of that, right? Like checking off the box. I did day 1 to 90, you know, going through P90X, like all these programs. And so, you know, fast forward till now, that's still how I think about my days. Now that I have a coaching business and a team under me, I hit roadblocks in my business, but I sit down and I say, how can I do this better? How can I do this a little bit differently? How can I get better this week, right? What's that 1%? And so that's really how the Next Level Living philosophy and my FitGym was created, because you can always be getting better. There's always something that you can do a little bit better every single day, every single week. And before you know it, all of those little things add up to big changes over time. We know that it's not going to happen overnight, right? So by making these small little steps every single day, that's how we get better. And I love the whole philosophy because I usually will start women out inside the group with fitness first, because that was just the easiest component for me. I feel like the nutrition can be super overwhelming, and that's something that we have to gradually work towards getting better. Because what happened to me over time was that my body started to naturally crave healthier foods. But in the process, I also had to like break bad habits and create good habits. But that did not happen overnight. So I love to be able to say to, you know, my clients or to you, where is it that your starting point is and what's your next level, right? You could be somebody that's like so stuck on even how to get started. I want to be healthy. I want to be fit. I want to do this, but I just don't know how. So your next level is saying, I'm ready and starting, right? Or maybe you've been kind of messing around with fitness for a while and you're like, I just feel kind of lost. I'm not sure what to do. Like your next level is to commit to a program, right? That has a calendar to follow and a progression that's going to get you to XYZ goal that you want, right? Or maybe you're stuck at a plateau and we really need to just look at your nutrition and change and tweak a couple things there, right? So I feel like I love having that, you know, customized philosophy where I can work with you and say, where is it that you're at and what's your next level? And then we kind of reassess that as we move along, you know, in a few weeks together. Like usually I'll say every 30 days, like reassess where you are and stuff, okay? So that's sort of how the philosophy was created. What I'm working on for us for this summer is super exciting. If you've been following a little bit me on my stories and in other social media areas, you'll see that I have been committing to a new program that I'm sort of test driving for my customers. And it is more of a like restorative program. I'm liking it as like a reset. So strength, mobility, progression, slow and controlled movement, strength training, and movement that we don't normally do because we are always so in a hurry to just get it done, or we feel like the intense workouts are the ones that are going to get us to our goals faster. When actually, when we take a step back and slow things down and slow down to speed up, and we focus on that mobility work, and we focus on deep stretching in combination with heavy lifting, and using strength dumbbells and resistance bands and all kinds of different ways to move our body in mobility types of like flowing ways, right? There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but I feel like this is just really a good way to set you up for something a little bit more advanced, right? So we're talking about next level, right? So anybody that wants to get started with this is a really good way to start, right? This is this beginner strength, mobility. It's going to kind of like step you in, right? And so for 4 weeks, you're working on getting deeper in your lunges, getting deeper in your squats, getting better range of motion, and then each day is setting you up for the next one. So the way that the program works is that it's sort of like this yin and yang. You have these strength and cardio days, and then the next day is this mobility, restore it. It's like, it's still strength. It's still going to be using resistance, your own body weight, but setting you up for the next day. Like I said, getting deeper in your squats, getting deeper in your lunges, better range of motion, understanding how that functional fitness works, right? And so I love the idea of this, not only for myself, but people that are starting inside of my community. We are having a bunch of people start this week. We had a bunch of people start last week. Right now we're working on prepping for this type of restorative reset type of program, mobility program, this week inside of the FitGym. But what I'm going to be doing is setting us up in order to take on a next challenge that's going to be 8 weeks long starting in July. Okay, so opening up my FitGym experience to someone that is ready to get started and commit to their health. For the first 4 weeks, we're going to be working on resetting our body, restoring our body, not only the physical, but the mental, right? We're going to be journaling. We're going to be talking about that morning routine. If you're a part of my Next Level Living Facebook free community, we talked about that this morning. So like kind of resetting ourselves. And like, again, no matter where you are in your fitness, you could be a beginner or you could be an advanced athlete. And this is going to work for you just as well as it's going to work for the beginner, right? And so 4 weeks of progression, of mobility, of resetting our mind, body, and soul, of taking care of ourselves, making us the priority, right? The workouts are like 20 to 30 minutes long, several days a week. You have 3 days of strength and the cardio HIIT type workouts, and then they alternate with the flow restorative type workouts. Okay, so that's the first 4 weeks. Then after we get through that time frame, just depending on where you are, I would like to challenge you to join us and get ready for the next 8 weeks from there. And from there, we will take on a strength training program that is going to burn fat and build muscle. And we'll implement some nutritional talk about how our bodies will change when it comes to what we're eating and our nutrition. And that will be that next level. And so I love that we're going to be able to enjoy the summer, right? But be working on ourselves. It's again, this healthy fit lifestyle is not meant to detract from your summer. It's not meant to be like, hey, let's give up all the fun all summer long to work on a bikini body. No, that's not it at all. I'm going to tell you that 90% of this journey is taking place in your mind. And it's going to be friggin' amazing, because that is what's going to set you up for the rest of your life, right? And when we think about fitness, I feel like it's such an old mentality, right? Back in the day, it was like, let's get ripped, let's get shredded, let's get a bikini body. And now I find more than ever that when we're focusing on slowing things down in order to get better, that's when the magic happens. When you slow things down and take your time in your fitness, your movement gets better. You can lift heavier. You can go harder on those harder days, or those when you start to challenge yourselves, right? And your body starts to crave good nutrition, and just the mentality. I think so much of what we do really is that mindset piece of, can I do it? Can I not do it? And as you go through these first 4 weeks, you're going to discover so many other things about yourself that you're going to say by the end of the 4 weeks, of course I can freaking do this, right? Okay, so I'm excited because I am going to be doing this myself. Okay, so these next couple of weeks, so these first 4 weeks, we're kicking prep off right now for these next 4 weeks. Okay, so you can join us this month for your first 4-week stint. And then we will, I feel like, once you get through the 4 weeks, we sort of say, okay, reassess. We want to do another second set of this restorative work, just depending on where you are with your body. If you're a beginner and you feel like you need to go through it again, then maybe that's what we do. And then you add the next 8 weeks program onto that after the fact, right? So it's definitely, for me, I feel like it's not always cookie cutter. I'd love to say one size fits all. Everybody's going to get the same thing, but it doesn't really work that way. And I don't like to work it that way either. I usually like to have a lot of one-on-ones with you before we get you started, just so I make sure that you're in the right spot and that this is going to be a good fit for you. Okay. So for, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come back live on Thursday and unbox for you what you'll actually get in your first 4 weeks. And we'll get into detail a little bit more what the second half of it, the second 8 weeks is going to look like. That's going to take you through the rest of the summer. Okay. And I'm, like I said, I'm excited to go through this myself, because anytime that I create a program inside the FitGym and I talk about the next level living philosophy, it's about me as much as it's about you, selfishly, because I'm going through the same program. I am always looking at ways to change, to get better. And the really cool thing is that the longer you're on this journey, the mindset piece starts to come together. And when you start to put all the pieces together, that's when your results start to accelerate, right? I'm just so thrilled and excited to be able to, offer this type of a program these next few weeks to you. I would love it so much if you had questions to reach out, but also be a part of Thursday's live when I come back to you and unbox the tangible things that you'll get when you're a part of the experience with us. So I'm excited to kick off this week and share with you this philosophy and how you can get started, and just really, this is how you change all the other aspects of your life. I can't say enough about how this journey has changed me, not just physically, right? I always say, yes, I've been able to lose 80 pounds with the programs and getting results at home, doing all these things, and have been able to maintain that for years and years and years. But my biggest transformation has been what has happened between my ears. And that has catapulted everything else. When I started to change my mindset, when I started to really fall in love with the journey and prioritize my time and put myself first, the other things started to fall in line. Being a part of the community with my members and my clients and with you has been a game changer. I said in earlier my story that I didn't really need much motivation, but I didn't realize how much I was missing the community of people that are just like me, the community of women and moms that are also working on their goals and are like-minded and are after all of the same things together. I think that's really what juices me. And I love to be able to not only host these groups, but to be able to link arms with you and do the programs with you, to be down in the trenches, right? My communities are not about me being on this stage and preaching to you guys about what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing. It's about this journey together and the experience that we create together as a whole. And I love being a part of that with you. That's what motivates me now. That's what gets me juiced now, is just being a part of this with all of you and being able to welcome new members and new moms into our community all the time that have those goals and have those struggles, but then find those eureka moments, or say, I didn't realize that this was something I needed in my life until I started doing it, right? And it's, again, it's not the tangible. It's this community. It's the fire that you feel from each other. Like, I woke up this morning inside of our FitGym and the girls were like, fired up from the weekend. I'm back. I'm drinking my Shakeology this morning. Like, all these posts are in here. And I was like, my heart is so full, because it's not about me. It's about them, and they're supporting each other and commenting and just so happy to be in there, right? We all have different goals. We're all at different levels, but we're all in there after the same thing, that same zest for life, that same excitement that we want to feel, that translates way beyond the gym, right? And these first 4 weeks are going to get you guys to where you want to be. Like I said, reset, restore mind, body, and soul. It's going to feel so good to go through these mobility workouts. I can't tell you, it changes you from the inside. It's not about the physical. It's not what you see. But I will also tell you that when this stuff works itself out, the rest falls into place. It's like you lose weight as a consequence of going through this process, right? You gain muscle as a consequence of going through this process. And I love that. I love that because it's like you almost don't even realize that you're doing it. Because you're just so in love with the whole process. And that's what I want for you. Okay, enough of that today. I'm so excited to come back with you Thursday and unbox and unpack all of the things that you'll tangibly get with this process. But if you still have not tried the sample workout that I'm referring to about this restorative program, I still have that available to you. You can still take advantage of that. See what you think. I want to make sure it's going to be a good fit for you. You know, again, we want to kind of reset our bodies for the next 4 weeks so that we can challenge ourselves in the following 8 weeks. And really, like, I'm excited to really build some muscle this summer, and you got to eat to burn, and I'm going to teach you all about all of that stuff. We're going to talk macros. We're going to talk about building a plate. We're going to talk about all the different things, morning routine, all the good stuff. Okay. All right, you guys. Comment if you have a question, send me a message if you need more information, and then join me live on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. and I will unbox all the goodies for you and show you exactly what's included, and you can ask more questions then too. And we'll get you started by the weekend, and you'll be ready to start prep with us and get started. Like, let's do this, right? Time is precious, and you only get one life to make it your best, and why not join us and be able to just live your best life and always be looking for the next best thing, the next level, right? Okay, you guys, have a great Monday, and I will see you soon.